Gavin Turk, an important figure in the London art scene, is showing a video artwork which brings titles of his works into an optical and acoustical rhythm.
So a response to an exhibition called Unfinished Symphony would be this suggestion that you could speak the titles of works, and that in itself would make a kind of tune or a kind of symphony.
London artists appreciate the interest shown in their work, but it is not easy to get an invitation to a studio. But if you do get invited, more than likely you will find yourself in the east of London. The long distances to districts where the underground stations are more thinly distributed than in the centre of London give one a good impression of the size of this city. It is here, in an area where the mixture of run-down business premises and half-built blocks of flats creates an atmosphere all its own, that Gavin Turk has his studio. The beginning of his career in the early 1990s coincided with a spectacular boom in contemporary art in London with the young British artists. Gavin Turk's studio is overflowing with artworks using the widest variety of techniques, works that he creates together with his assistants.
I think my work is still quite experimental. I mean, I think I'm still trying to investigate various different types, styles of thinking, of making things, different speeds, different ways of arriving at solutions.
For Gavin Turk, creating art is a kind of search.
What are the necessary requirements for a piece of art? What would make it stand the test of time, or what would make it work? I mean, these things are always kind of open for question.
Questions like these help to explain the variety of techniques and the diversity of materials with which he works. For Gavin Turk, the history of art is both an incentive and a source.
It's full of materials, really, for me, art history. I mean, I use art history as a kind of toolbox as well. Sometimes I'll take certain ideas from certain artists and I'll combine them together with other ideas from other artists. And in a way, that might start to make a piece of work in itself.
Results of this approach are works in the style of other artists like Andy Warhol, whose themes are reworked in a quite personal way. Aktions art with dolls, in which the figure of Gavin Turk merges with familiar figures from the art world, or the transformation of banal objects like rubbish bags into high-quality bronze sculptures. You will seek in vain for a typical style among the works of Gavin Turk.
Quite often you don't know it's my work unless it's got my name written big across it. You might not even know that it's by me. And this is something that's hard for collectors, but maybe it's just part of the process that I need to go through in order to make my work.
Back to the centre. Close to Oxford's